the complainants. I don't try to read myself into a situation.
No, I agree.
Or assume that what I should do is what everybody else should do.
Yeah, all I'm saying too is that you cannot dispute the fact that actually she is just like you. She may just be like you, strong moral rectitude, courage of her convictions, and is not scared actually of authority. Would you be surprised if you found that out?
I wouldn't be. I mean, I think it takes enormous courage to actually come here.
Yes.
And it takes, so that is to be admired. And sometimes people might not have that initially. It may come to them precisely through difficult situations.
I fully agree with you. So it may not be entirely accurate that she's this childlike person who cannot speak her mind.
I think when I use the term childlike, it's not necessarily about speaking with mind. It's about position.
It's fine.
Respect. Who do you defer to? Who do you respect? What is the appropriate way in which you approach somebody? It's not necessarily lacking courage. It's just that I think as we go through life, we learn that you don't use F words to your CEO. That would not be considered appropriate. So it's more like if we fulfill or live or occupy certain roles in life, that's often how we are supposed to engage with each other. And I'll give an example now. Your role is that of the defense attorney. Mine is that of a witness. And so you expect me to answer in particular ways in terms of that role as Advocate Budlander fulfills her role. So there are ways in which we can and can't respond to each other. As when you say to me, I mustn't be sarcastic, you're telling me I'm not fulfilling the role of witness. That's my point, is that there are roles which kind of shape how that we are expected to behave.
You put me in my place there. Right. So all I'm saying to you is that you will agree with me that without having spoken to her, knowing her intentions, the tribunal must take the things you say about her not as wrong, but as generalizations. They are not specific to her. You don't know her intentions when she said something.
What I'm offering the tribunal, and again, as I said, it's for them to take it or leave it, is what I read from this, how it can be interpreted. I'm not offering holy writ here. I'm saying this is how it can be interpreted on the basis of my experience with other complainants.
And that we did establish with you yesterday that because you did not look at her cross-examination where her assumptions, her statements were tested and where she made certain concessions. You have no access to the concessions she made.
I did look at them yesterday.
And we'll get there. I'm talking about when you provided us with your report. I knew you were going to say you had a look last night. All I'm saying to you is that when you provided this report and you gave evidence, not when I reminded you that you didn't look at it, when you gave this report and gave your evidence in chief, you had not had a look at her concessions and how and when her testimony was tested.
Actually, I stated up front that I hadn't gone through the cross-examination in great detail.
Yes.
Sorry, Mr. Skakane, I think I'm going to go back to something which is important here. To the previous question you asked. Mr. Skakane said to the following fact: because you had not interviewed her as a person, the tribunal should then look at what you said as generalized, as a generalized opinion, because you never interviewed her, you can't zoom onto her. Well, what you said were general remarks in general terms and not specific to her. I think that is the essence of the question.
My comments are based on what I read here and how I understand or see what she is saying. From what I'd also looked at in terms of the her evidence in chief as well. That is how it was understood, and what was done was, what I was trying to do was contextualize her evidence as well in terms of what I am familiar with in terms of other complainants. Hence the broader explanatory framework of this is how sexual harassment is understood, this is how complainants can be understood, And then in light of that general contextual background, this is how one can read what she is saying or not saying here and how she is responding.
I interrupted you, Mr.
Yes.
Sakane, so.
Well, I'll go back there, but the point I was making is not that you wrong and make. All we're saying is that those are